Let's now shift our focus to Canada. It has been exposed as the weak link in NATO. Let me explain this. Canada has an ambitious new plan to build up to a dozen new submarines to boost its desperately under-strengthened navy. And while that sounds great for Canada, the truth really is its plan to boost its submarine strength faces a number of challenges that could render it a pipe dream. You see, for a key member of the NATO, Canada has a neglected submarine force. Its submarine fleet, in fact, consists of just 4 Victoria-class diesel-electric attack submarines. They are aging and troubled, and only one is fully operational at any moment. That and the fact that Canada has never really prioritized its defense raises big questions. Will Canada be able to step up when the NATO needs it to? As of now, details of the submarine acquisition are not clear. Canada is looking for boats that will be conventionally powered and under ice capable. It's also not clear how many boats will be purchased or when they will arrive. But the fact that the ability of these submarines to operate under ice has been mentioned tells us what Canada is really looking for. Safeguarding its interests in the Arctic, where there is a race among countries like the US, Russia, China, we've been telling you about this, to secure new shipping routes and mineral resources. Canada, with the world's largest coastline spanning 3 oceans, including the Arctic, has that much territory it needs to protect. And add to that, Canada has commitments to the NATO, of course. Canadian submarines could be very useful for the defense of NATO territory or for asserting NATO presence in contested Arctic waters. But right now, Canada is in no position to do that. And for that, Canada has received a lot of criticism within the NATO, accused of riding on NATO's coattails for far too long. Canada is under mounting pressure from allies, including the US, to increase its military spending. You see, Canada continues to fall short of the target set out for all NATO members. In fact, Republicans in the US Senate have expressed shock over the failure of capable allies like Canada to reach the alliance's 2% requirement defense spending target. Canada, a founding member of the NATO, ranks 7th overall in the amount of money spent on defense among the 32-country alliance. It falls way short of the alliance's doctrine. NATO members are required to spend at least 2% of their GDP on military. But Canada spends only about 1.34% of its GDP on its military. And by contrast, the UK spends just over 2%, while the US spends nearly 3.5%. No wonder then, new submarines as part of efforts to boost military might is just what Canada needs. New submarines, especially ones equipped with cruise missiles, would give Canada a much-needed, potent land attack capability. Submarines would also enable Canada to support NATO and even Pacific operations, like contributing warships to any US-led coalition to defend Taiwan from Chinese invasion. But boosting its maritime capabilities will require more than buying new boats and submarines. Canada has bigger worries. For example, shore-based infrastructure like maintenance and training facilities are lacking to sustain submarine operations in the Arctic. Canada would need a new base in the region. And currently, the distance between Canada's Pacific Naval Base in British Columbia and the western entrance to the Northwest Passage is almost 4,000 miles. And what's more, Canadian armed forces are also suffering from a recruitment crisis. Even if enough enlisted personnel were available to man the 12 submarines, there would be a lack of experienced officers. And all these challenges because national defense has never been a top priority in Canada, it seems. Till Canada fixes its house, it will not be seen as a serious member of the NATO. And for that reason alone, it is the weak link in NATO. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.